Hey everyone, Jessica here. So excited to be with you all for Social Selling Sunday week number 4, and we're going to talk about stories that sell. So if you're here today, excited to learn how to create stories that sell, give me a 1 in the comments so I know that you're here. And we're going to get started right away. All right, so let's go. All right, so first let's talk about why stories matter and some of the big mistakes that sellers make on social media. All right, so let's talk about some of the big mistakes that sellers make on social media. All right, so one of the first things is only posting on your feed. All right, so that's the first one, and then not using your stories and forgetting about those stories for multiple days. All right. And then only using stories when there's a sale. So anytime you see those sales flyers and you just pop them in your story and that's the only thing that you're posting, that's a big no. All right. That's only going to push people away and block you and not want to follow you or look at your stories because they're going to look at that and think, all she does is sell. All right. We don't want that. We want to build relationships. And that's what I'm going to teach you all in this training is how to build relationships using stories and then converting them into sales, potential parties, or recruits. All right. So stories should be consistent and not occasional. Exactly. And we're going to talk about a little bit about that here in just a minute. All right. But let's first talk about why stories matter. Stories build trust faster than posts. Wow. Did you guys know that? Did you know that? Give me a number 2 in the comments. Stories build trust faster than posts. All right. Stories feel personal and real, and that's why it builds trust faster than the post because they feel real, they feel personable, and I'm going to share with you guys how to do that and how to make that happen. Okay. Stories are stories are where conversations start. Exactly, because it's not out in the public and it's just one-on-one back and forth, in a message. If they reply to that story, and that's where the relationship is going to build. Okay, so posts build visibility, stories build connection. Exactly. So posting on your social media builds visibility, like, hey, I'm here, right? But stories build connection, and that's where the relationships start to form. All right. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so three things to share in stories. So just like before, guys, the content buckets, right? So this is the same thing for stories. So real life lifestyle posts or stories is what I meant to say. Stories. All right, so your daily routine, behind the scene type things, and then of course like family moments and things like that. All right, and then value, like quick tips, mini how-tos, or did you know type questions. All right, and then you do the soft offer through polls, questions, or do you want info, message me a heart, things like that. All right. All right, so those are the 3 things to share in stories. All right, so let's go to the next one. All right, so selling in stories the right way. So let's talk about that a little bit. So you're going to invite, right? Don't push. You're going to ask questions. All right, you're going to use the polls and sliders, and I'll show you a little bit more what I mean about the sliders. All right, and keep it conversational. So that's the best part of it. You can go back and forth and talk to anyone that looks at your story, that replies to your story. And like I said earlier, conversation is better than a broadcast, right? So that's when the relationships are going to start building. So here's one that I did. Have you ever thought about joining? All right, I did like a yes, or I think I said yes or want more info, and this one said just watching. All right, so 100% of them were just watching, and that's okay. People are watching you. All right, so that's good to know. Nothing wrong with that, because that lead can become something a year or a month or 2 days later. All right. All right, so let's go to the next one. Ooh. All right, so easy for story formula. So this is the formula that I mentioned earlier that I recommend doing. So in your first story, do like a real life picture, a video, whatever you want to do. And this one right here is of me and my chickens. All right, this is real life with me, with my chickens. And then story number 2 is a helpful tip on how they can get these cookies to be nice and brown on the bottom. All right, and then related products. So my next one is a little bit about, have you seen Tupperware lately? All right, I'm not selling anything. I'm just showing them what's available, and they may see the silicone mat in that video as well. All right, so perks of interest. All right, and then story number 4 is when I invite them. So this is like my funnel. I'm funneling into my group here, which is my VIP group. And then I did this little link here where they tap it and then they can request to join my group. So that's my invite part of it. Or you can do a poll. Totally up to you, whatever you want to do. So this is very natural and it's not salesy at all. I'm not talking about sales. I'm not talking about how much anything costs. It's just information and building those relationships. Okay. Keep it very real and non-sales like and non-pushy. All right. Or annoying. It's not annoying either. All right. Let's go to our next one. All right. So here's your assignment. Isn't this super simple, guys? You can do it. I know you can. I believe in you. So this week, here's your assignment. You're going to post stories 3 times this week. All right. You're going to use at least one poll or a question box. All right. And you're going to try the 4-story flow, the one I just talked about earlier, the 4 types of stories that I recommend doing. All right. And keep the conversation going and ask questions and just have fun with it and just be real. All right. They will ask you, I'm going to tell you what, they will ask you for more information if they want to host, if they want a party, or how can I get this, or how much does it cost? That's when you can do the conversion of, if they say, oh, how much is this? And then you could be like, oh, it's this price. You can give like an ABC type thing and say you could pay full price for this. You can, get it for free, or you can get it for 25% off. Which do you prefer? And then that's when you can talk about the other options that we have. All right. I hope that makes sense. All right. So take note, trust builds sales. Yeah. So once you start those conversations, you build those relationships, that's where the trust comes in and that's when the sales will begin. So, all right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope that you found value in this. Give me a number 3 if you found value in this, and I'm cheering you on, and I will see you for week 5. Have a great night. Bye.